Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome to the Black Tax. There's an African proverb that says, "Don't tell the man carrying you he stinks." Oftentimes I am sought after to become counsel to individuals who are trying to build a brand, who are kind of in corporate America and an issue has popped up and they're trying to find a way to handle it. So somebody that knows them, knows me, and connects us together so that I can kind of hear the facts, paint some scenarios, ask some questions that will lead me to answers that I think will fit the situation and how to manage the problem that may continue or may just be a one-time thing. This individual that I was introduced to needed some assistance. They were pretending to be the man, but really didn't have a grasp of what it meant to be a leader, what it meant to have humbleness or the tenacity to know when to step back and let your team shine. So he was working for this company, and his boss was someone who had the ability to get clients, but the clients that he was getting was his friends who worked in various industry where this particular industry was a useful tool. But once those clients or new clients came in, a handful of them, he was unable to acquire any additional new business, which became problematic. So the individual that I knew introduced me to this individual, and we began a mentor-mentee type relationship. The mentor-mentee relationship turned into somewhat of a friendship, someone he could talk to about what was going on in his life. He was going through a really bitter divorce. I have a lot of familiarity with that and try to guide him the way that I thought would be best. There was a situation where I tried to explain to him what he needed to do in order to maintain his position, but at the same time create distance from the situation and the individuals who he really didn't know if they were going to be loyal followers or they were going to be social climbers, and they were piss poor social climbers. So the first one went around and talked about what she could do, and she was a DEI expert, and she was this, and she was that, and she had gone to Howard, and she was educated, and she had all these amazing skill sets and things that were needed in corporate America. But most of the material that she was gathering, if you did a Google search, you could find it. And it wasn't buried deep in the internet. It was maybe page 2, possibly page 3 of the internet, and then take all that information and regurgitate it, where the other individual, who was kind of a quasi boss of hers, understood that. And so the other individual that was involved in this, she thought that she knew more than everybody in the room without even having a college degree. So I tried to tell this individual that he needed to put a buffer between the third-party people he was hiring to protect his position and to keep them at bay from getting too close to his boss. Because most people think that if they can get past the gatekeeper, that they could run amok within the organization. And when they try to run amok in the organization, they ultimately destroy everybody they were attached to. So I suggested that he hire me as an independent contractor. I would hire them as independent contractors. If there was a problem, he would be hands off. I would be able to be the one that control their movements, what they did, how they did it, how they responded, how they communicated. He shot that down. He was like, I know I can handle this. I know what I'm doing. I said to him, you are going through a bitter divorce. There's a lot of things going on, and there are a lot of pieces you're going to miss because your personal life is in turmoil and your professional life isn't. And those two have to always run in harmony. But again, somebody who's been through it, somebody who is older, someone who has had more life experiences, I got the pushback. The first individual went around him to his boss and they hired her. He was upset, and I tried to explain to him that's what was going to happen. She then decided that she no longer needed him to make demands about what was going on. And when she didn't get her paycheck on time, she threw a fit. And in throwing a fit, made these white people look at her sideways. She then comes back to him to try to fix the problem. And in turn, he comes back to me to find a way to solve the problem. I told him a solution of how to solve the problem, and he was like, cool. He took the solution, he talked to his boss talked to his boss, and they worked out the situation. Now, mind you, she asked for more money, and she asked for a computer. They agreed to that, but that was the nail in the coffin that ended her tour of duty at this particular company. I want to give context here. As an entrepreneur, as an independent contractor, you should already have the tools you need to do the job you claim you can do. You can't require a company who's hiring you to do a specific task to ask them for the tools to do the task, because if that's the case, then you want to be an employee with them. So if you need to update your computer, get it updated. If you need to get an iPad, get it. If you need to get updated software, get it. Do not play the game that because you can do the job but don't have the tools to do the job, that will make you look like an idiot. And when you are Black, your credibility is everything. So you have to have all the necessary tools in your toolbox to do the job you claim you can do. If you don't have those, find a way to get it. Because if you don't, it is bad not just for you, it is bad for those who come behind you. Each one teach one is important here. So if you don't have the skill set, don't say you have it. If you don't have the tools for the skill set, get them before you commit to something. Because you may not think it follows you, but it does. It will always follow you, and you have to always be prepared, no matter what. Now, back to the story. The second individual did the same thing. The only difference is she believed she was not only better than the individual I'm speaking about, she was also better than me. And like I always tell people, you're going to need me long before I need you. I do my best to try to empower my mentees, my friends, colleagues, about how to resolve a situation or a problem. I problem solve very well. I always have. Even as a young child, I knew how to get in and out of shit by problem solving. I'm sure it has a lot to do with my dad forcing me to play chess on 3 boards. So this woman went around his back, made the same demands, but dragged me into the process where I had to kind of say, hey, I'm not associated with this. I made a recommendation based on what I knew and the facts that I had. And though I didn't probe any deeper as I should have, limited to my probing because of COVID, I did the best that I could. In the end, we all got fired because of this one individual. So the individual who I was mentoring is upset, and he's like, oh, you screwed me over, you fucked me over, you did this, you did this. And I said, let's go back to the text messages so you can see Everything I said was going to happen happened. And he went and he read it, and he was like, oh shit, I missed all of this. And I said to him, and that is why I tried to tell you that I should be the buffer, because your personal life was impeding on your professional life, and impeding on your professional life that ultimately caused you to lose your job, because you brought in outside individuals that you did not have a control over, and those individuals who felt they had the absolute fucking nerve to go above and beyond you, they did and screwed you. Oftentimes, people think they take a little bit of information and they can run the gamut, that they don't have to worry about anything other than what was told to them or shown to them, because they have an understanding of it. But what they don't understand are the spaces in between the information, the gaps in between the letters, the things that are not said but are said loudly in the same text. Never, ever, ever, never should you underestimate the power of someone who has experience. Never question the situation of how they're trying to show you the best roadmap to keep your hands clean. When you begin to think that you are better than the master who has done it longer than you, it is the beginning of the end for you. I want you to think about who you go to, who you seek counsel of. Why do you seek their counsel? Do you think that they have something that you don't? Do you think that you could take something from them and then regurgitate it, making it sound like it's yours? But when you are pressed up against the wall, you don't know how to defend it. Having someone in your corner who you can always come to and in counsel with, kibitz, to kind of share experiences and ideas of how to move forward, is something that can never be replaced or paid for. And if the mentor truly believes in you, he or she or they or them are going to make sure that you walk the right path to reaching your goals. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect path, but that path won't have as many landmines as if you were walking blindly through it. Stay woke. We out.